Minecraft has many biomes. Most of them are in the game at this point in time. But there are also a couple of biomes that did not quite make it to the game, or that were there but were then removed. These biomes are Tundras, Rainforests, Seasonal Forests, Ice Deserts, and Shrublands. Let's look over the history and speculate about the reason why they got removed. Tundras are in the game now, sure, but they are listed in the removed biome section, so we are going to cover them. They were first introduced in Java Edition Alpha 1.2.0, and they were removed in Beta 1.8, and they were re-added as ice plains in 1.0. Some varieties have been introduced in 1.7.2, like the ice spikes of frozen rivers. Let's speculate about why they may have got removed. Well, they were never fully removed, but the old variety of them was. Why though? Well, my theory is, it was difficult to survive in. Animals and trees were pretty much non-existent. Even if tigers were nearby, it would take some amount of time to walk to them. Tundras, a biome which is in the game now, at least has a couple of trees. Rainforests had much more large trees than normal biomes. The biome would have high rainfall requirements, so funky terrain shapes could generate quite often. They were added in Alpha 1.2.0. Tall grass was able to generate in them in 1.6, and they were removed in 1.8. All of them betas. Let's think about why they got removed. I have two theories. The first one is that they planned to replace it with the jungle biome, but that biome came out in 1.2 2 years later, so that's not an option. The second one are technical limitations, because the game works differently at high rainfall values. Maybe the biome was such a small thing that it would not make sense to keep it, even through the limitations. The seasonal forest was, unlike the rainforest, a much less dense version of the forest. They were added in Alpha 1.2.0, and, like rainforests, tall grass would be able to generate in Beta 1.6.0, and they were removed in Beta 1.8. Because they were too similar to forests, Mojang maybe thought it was obsolete to keep this biome. The ice deserts were introduced in Alpha 1.2.0 and removed almost 1 year later in Beta 1.8. They were visually similar to tundras, but their surface was made out of sand. Flowers, trees and animals were non-present in this biome, so it was very hard to survive in. My prevailing theory about why they may have gotten removed is that they were again replaced by snowy tundras. And because a biome like that existed, it did not make sense for this biome to still exist. Shrublands were similar to ice deserts, introduced in 1.2.0 and removed a year later in 1.8. They were similar to savannas, but it's impossible for them to be their precursor, because savannas were removed in the same update as the shrublands and re-added more than 2 years later in 1.7.2. The biome is also quite similar to plains, which were introduced in the same update as the shrublands. I believe that the plains are the reason for the removal of this biome. These were the 5 removed biomes of Minecraft, from dense forest variants to blank, lifeless ice deserts, from shrublands filled with tall grass and little trees to spacious seasonal forests. These biomes were all removed from the game for some reason. Maybe it was because of technical inconveniences. Maybe it was because of the addition of another biome. But I personally believe that these biomes are not the best that we have ever had. I believe that the purpose of these biomes was to add a little bit of variety in the early stages of the game. That is my conclusion. Thank you for watching this episode of the Biome Analysis. and I hope that you will subscribe to the channel to see more episodes of this series.